Go.
Oh, hello. I'm Roy Pinar, and I'm reporting from the GCHS newsroom. Today, we'll be discussing bias in the media. There has been a lot of speculation of what bias actually is, but the Webster definition of bias is a systematic error introduced into sampling or testing by selecting or encouraging one outcome or answer over others. The question that we always ask ourselves is, why does bias exist? Simply said, the cause of bias is formed by when people try to press their own beliefs upon others. And how do they do this? Well, it's usually done by newspapers, newscasts, internet and radio, or any other type of media. Sponsorship and ratings are only two factors that fuel media organizations' bias. We'll be looking more into depth in the subject later in this televised program. So, is bias good? No, because citizens rely on the media to inform them of the truth about current issues. We will now be taking a look at a recent example of bias in the media.
Go.
I started noticing when they would have these the town hall meetings, and there was vitriol and general animosity and anger and shouting and pushing and just unsavory behavior reported. And I don't know if it was generally speaking, but it would be reported here and there. And then within the last week, a couple of days ago, Jimmy Carter started talking about this behavior and was speculating that perhaps this unease or poor decorum was because people was rooted in racism. Is he onto something there, or is that just something to talk about?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to realize that I was actually black before the election. So
Really? This is true.
This is true. So,
how long have you been a black man?
So the American people, I think, gave me this extraordinary honor, and that tells you, I think, a lot about where the country's at. I actually think that what's happened is that whenever a president tries to bring about significant changes, particularly during times of economic unease, then there is a certain segment of the population that gets very riled up, and then it happened. FDR was called a socialist and a communist. JFK, there were all kinds of names hurled at him. Ronald Reagan, when he came into office, he was moving in a different direction, and people were sure that he was bringing the country down. And so this is not untypical. You know, one of the things you sign up for in politics is folks yell at you. But I think that what has been missing from the conversation is that the overwhelming majority of people, Republican or Democrat, I think they just want to see some common sense. They want to see some honesty and integrity in Washington. I think they're turned off by the shouting and the yelling, and they expect more from their public elected officials. And so that's something that I want to...
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at two very different news corporations and how they portray Obama and Letterman. First, Fox. Their headline was, "Obama and Letterman, I was black before the election." This does not portray a very positive view on Obama, and it's calling him a racist. Now, if we take a look at the word on the screen, the words being emphasized are Obama, black, people, reaction, racism. Overall, the wordle sums up the article as very critical on Obama. Oh, hello. Now that we understand the negative attitude Fox portrays, let's look at CNN's point of view. Of course, they're going to show an opposite angle of the interview. Their article is called, "Obama Mixes Policy Humor with Letterman." It definitely gives Obama a much more positive image compared to Fox. Obama includes important topics like sending troops to Afghanistan and the recovering of September 11th, but he also includes like that his daughters were goofing off in the summertime. If you take a look at the Wordle, the words being emphasized are Obama, daughters, summer, goofed, and responsible. It is just a much more relaxed point of view. Now, with all these different biases in the media, how do you know what is right? How can you create your own opinion? Well, if you watch primary documents such as the president's speech instead of news reports, or if you view both sides of the arguments and create your own opinion, bias will not have an impact on you. As citizens of America, we need to assume responsibility for choosing what to believe because the media bombards society with such bias now that if we left it entirely unchecked, the world would be complete chaos. This is Roy Pinar signing off. And remember, kids, if you're not first,